At this hour, I'm Christina Aguayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Residents of Bucks County showing up to the Board of Commissioners meeting this week angry and calling for the Democrat members of the board who decided to count illegal ballots in defiance of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruling to resign. Some even saying they're taking matters even further.
Diane is emotional and out of control. Is there even a meeting where she isn't calling someone names?
We've been called election deniers, racists, conspiracy theorists, liars. Did I leave anything out? We, the people of Bucks County, are fed up.
I want to let you know that I'm not going to take it anymore. I have decided to file a criminal complaint against both of you.
You had $5 million to clear the voter rolls and handle this election. What did you do with the money? It certainly wasn't all for overtime. And by the way, I'm going to echo again what people are saying. You both need to resign now.
Bucks County Commissioner Diane Ellis-Marseglia, who angered residents by defiantly saying she would count illegal ballots despite the Pennsylvania Supreme Court order not to, is backtracking on her comments, but doesn't seem too happy about it.
But I remind you all that we all say things that are out of turn. We all make mistakes. I made a mistake. If you would just bear with me for one more minute. Unfortunately, I took my frustration out on the Pennsylvania Supreme Court.
The Democrat members of the board were pummeled during a commissioners' meeting by residents who didn't take too lightly to them breaking the law.
I know this pains you losing liberals, but you're going to have to get some TDS training. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. Because there's not going to be any more DEI. There's no more men and women's sports. There's not going to be any more rapists and murderers coming over the border.
You've called all of us here extremists, MAGA extremists, white Christian nationalists, all kinds of horrible names.
Compared to all of you, being called garbage doesn't seem to be so bad.
The Democrat mayor of Denver, Colorado, is saying that they will fight any effort by President Donald Trump to deport illegal migrants, even saying he would station the Denver Police Department at the county line to keep deportation officials out of the city. Mayor Mike Johnston pledged to protect illegal migrants, making sure they still have access to government welfare programs without fear of deportation. In addition, he said asking the Denver PD to help with the deportations is out of the question, adding that the DPD will be ready to face the National Guard if they try to come into the city and deport illegal migrants. A recent report showed that taxpayers in Denver paid $340 million on illegal migrants. Denver's migrant problem was thrust into the national spotlight recently when the violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, spilled over into neighboring Aurora and took over a handful of apartment complexes. The Biden-Harris administration making a controversial move with the launch of an ICE portal app in New York City. The app essentially allows migrants to skip in-person meetings with ICE officials by using the digital platform. Many are now saying the new policy poses major security threats and may even violate the law. Officials say the app that will launch in early December is glitchy and unreliable, so it will be easy for migrants to disappear into the country. And that's not all. The Biden-Harris administration is rushing to push through other changes like giving migrants the right to challenge electronic monitoring and demanding to be terminated from the program, along with a dozen other policy changes. Border officials say Biden is actively obstructing the transition of power, and his moves could tie Trump's deportation plan up in the court system for years. FBI Director Christopher Wray and DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas have refused to testify publicly during the Senate hearing on Homeland Security. Instead, the pair said they would testify behind closed doors, a move that's being heavily criticized by the GOP, who says they have major concerns about oversight and accountability when it comes to national security issues. The Senate Homeland Security Committee Chairman Gary Peters said Mayorkas and Wray's refusal to appear is a shocking departure from the 15-year tradition of holding the annual hearing on worldwide threats. However, both the FBI and the DHS said they have information that can only be provided in a classified setting. But Peters rejected their excuse, saying not having a public hearing robs the American people of critical information. This is the second hearing that they've refused to publicly testify at. Governor Greg Abbott showcasing his dedication to border security, saying that border wall construction continues in Maverick County. The Texas governor says that his teams are working day and night to build mile after mile of the state's historic border wall, adding that he won't stop until the border is secure. Governor Abbott had to step in after the Biden-Harris administration eliminated Trump border policies when they took office, resulting in an open border that has allowed tens of millions of illegal migrants to cross the border, including more than 425,000 criminals, migrants on the terror watch list, and members of the violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. A caravan of about 1,500 migrants from Central and South America is rushing to the United States, trying to make it across the border before President Donald Trump takes office. Trump has pledged to secure the southern border and has a plan for mass deportation to address the tens of millions that crossed the border during the Biden-Harris administration. Many of the migrants say they are still coming because they can get lost in the country, and if they don't commit a crime, they know they won't get deported. The Biden-Harris administration making a controversial move with the launch of an ICE portal app in New York City. The app essentially allows migrants to skip in-person meetings with ICE officials by using the digital platform. Many are now saying the new policy poses major security threats and may even violate the law. In Dallas, Christina, Aguayo, Salem News Channel.